This program is brought to you by the following non-paid sponsors: the League of Extraordinary Beings, the Society of Poor Knights of the Multiverse, Battle School, the Deployed from Detroit School of Leadership and Madness, the Society of the Pale Horse, the Curiodrome, and of course, viewers like you.
Hi! How's the audio? Did I fix the echo? I know, right, gang? I can't be trusted with technology. How are you? How was your week? Did you have fun? At least a little bit? Better. Even if it's just a little. Little goes a long way. Okay, so where are we? What have we been doing? Oh, check this out. I got a new fire thing. I made it. Some hands. I know a lot of people who try to hold fire, so these inspired me for that. Let's see if I burn my whole fucking house down. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, it's working. Yeah. I don't want to pick it up again because I'll dump the... It's just using, like, rubbing alcohol as the fuel. I don't want to pick it up and dump it all over the place. But it's pretty neat. Where were we? What did we do? So, in the past 10 episodes, we covered a lot of stuff. But we're halfway done. The first half of the class usually takes up the B portion, what you ought to be. And in that, we talked about character traits and beliefs and values and norms and things you carry inside of you. Things that make up who you are. And answer the question of who you want to be. This next section is what you want to know. And it's not going to be lists, and it's not going to be dates, and it's not going to be much like that. We're not going to tell you what you're going to need to know, because you're going to find that out on your own. Mostly just the kind of things you want to know. So it won't be that hard. Ooh, pardon me. I cough. Oh. Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm awful at intros. I'm awful at most broadcast sort of like formalities. It is what it is. And this is, for right now, how my podcast is working. Normally, I'm an artist and a writer, and I do a lot of like poetry and sort of philosophical writing. But I tend to be doing a lot more fun stuff. I was a chef for a long time. So it's weird that this is what I'm doing. Kinda. But I've also been doing this for... things like this for about 30 years. despite how gorgeous I am. And teaching this class in particular for 25 years. Crazy. So instead of doing a cooking class, instead of me painting, instead of me playing my banjos and shit, I'll just do this for now. Maybe I'll get to the painting and jewelry, and I'll do some makeup tutorials or whatever, and I'll get dolled up and we'll go full drag queen. Who gives a shit, right? But right now, I kind of felt plenty of people have those bases covered. There's a lot of beautiful people out there making some really fun stuff. A lot of really good cooks, excellent chefs, excellent. A lot of shitty ones. A lot of ones are out there like, whoa, do something else. A lot of great ones, though. A lot of really good ones. Yeah, there's so many people who have the time for that and the passion for that. This is an extra thing for me right now. The league is in an establishment phase, so it affords me time, but it's time I don't want to waste. Waste is the wrong word, but it's time I'd like to stay focused during. It's, and what we're doing at the league and what we hope to be doing is taking care of people at the base level, at the base explanation of what does the League of Extraordinary Beings do, LXB for short. What does the LXB do? They take care of people. How? Good question. Language can be finagled. I can say, go back there and take care of that guy. And they could either be fed, clothed, killed, or jacked off. Like, one should be clear in their instructions. So if I say, go over there and take care of that guy, I really should know what I mean. What do we mean? Well, we're looking at individual stabilization. We want to get people back into a position of redeployability. Are any of those actual words? Here's a problem I run into coming out of the avenues I did. And then I try and explain it to civilian populations, and they're like, three of them ain't words, motherfucker. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know. But a redeployable, what I want is for you to be able to choose your own missions and execute those missions. That's what I want for you as the individual. And I want that scaled out to the group and community and family and so on and so forth. But I know a lot of folks who want to be artists of a sort. They want to be painters. They want to be musicians. They want to, there's a lot there. There's more than one person can do on their own. And creatives are often too nice. We end up doing too much shit for free, and then we end up starving. Thus, the starving artists. Well, speaking to veterans, if we can strap a J shop or an S shop to a starving artist and give them an S4, a S3, like if we can start giving these people logistics officers, supply officers, education officers, like if we can have reporting structures for these folks, and we're going to have to do it in a different way because they're not going to do reporting statements on us. They don't get it, and that's fine. Remember what it took for us to get it. So we'll be easy on them. But that's what I want. I want someone to say, I want to open up a food truck. And we go, all right, let's fucking do it. Because nothing's stopping that from happening. There's nothing. That's doable as hell. Most of your dreams are doable. Very few people have come up to me and said they want to do something they can't. Like, that's impossible. Like, I remember one kid's like, I want to be a dinosaur. Sorry. Even as a transgender woman, I feel you, baby. Wouldn't it be awesome? But shit, you can do a bunch of other stuff in between. So yeah, we can't do everything. But we can find out on the way. We can learn. We can throw the goddamn ball and see how far it gets. There's a fear of failure there, because that fear is genuine, especially here in the glorious United States. It's been chaos here since the 80s, gang. The economy has been in someone else's pocket. And I remember being executive level chef, getting offered like $13 an hour. Wow. That's when I got out of the business altogether. Like, okay. And it was just the ownership class stopped taking manpower serious as a requirement, which is crazy. Because manpower is your primary resource as an organization. It's all you fucking got. Manpower is the only thing that can cause your logistics, your supplies, your materiel to do anything. It doesn't matter how many fucking cars you have if you don't have drivers. If you don't have mechanics. If you don't have insurance agents. If you don't have car washers and porters and all them fellers. Fuck your car. It's the people. But if you're a small business, you can't get all them people. So that's what we're trying to get coordinated is, you know, all these people exist. And it's been chaos. It's the Tower of Babel. Really, the internet became the Tower of Babel. If you're familiar with that myth, story, or however you want to phrase it, there was this idea that a long time ago everybody spoke one language. And with that, we could share all of our knowledge. We could all very easily just, hey, check this out. That's fucking cool. All right. And so in that, humanity is like, we should go meet God. This will be cool. And they built this big giant tower so they can go meet God face to face. And God's like, fuck that. And kicks it over. And then blah, 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 babble. That's why that word, babbling, blah, 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 blah. After the Tower of Babel, nobody could understand one another. And all the languages of the world were born. For the myth. It ain't wrong, though. I dare not call it accurate. But it ain't wrong. And that's... And this is something you can look at, too, kind of easily. Any sort of major boost in technology, especially in the distribution of information, you're going to see just proliferation? What's the word? Proliferation? Or does that mean stop? I can't figure. You're going to see it break out. You're going to see it spread. You're going to see dumb ideas just catch fucking fire. The witch hunts were the result of the printing press. A lot of shit like that popped off in history, where the minute you could start telling each other stuff, like the telegraph was the start of, the telegraph in concert with a few other things in that late era is pretty much what kicked off the flat earth idea. Because it was just morons able to talk to each other faster. Stupid people could outpace smart people, because you have to pay to go to college, and so now there's a fucking paywall for information, and dumb shit's free though, so dumb shit spreads. And goddamn, every time books. I'm sure we saw it too, and there had to be some kind of, because even in early stages of, we can look at development of mythological characters and how they're represented. In modern days, fucking stupid people are like, these dumb shits thought their god was a fucking cow guy or a thing with a bunch of arms. It's like, no, dude. That's not that at all. They didn't think it looked like that. They didn't think it can't look like anything. There's one thing. This is a representation, an icon, a symbol. This is this plus that. A thing with a bull's head is a thing that does bull stuff. It's not... You think Captain America's actually them colors? It's a suit. Yeah, Anubis was basically Iron Man. Still cool. But as information spreads and people don't get a chance to understand it, folks are like, got it. They just breeze over things and like, did you hear? Pass it on. And yeah, it is much easier to be swamped up in these kind of worlds of nonsense where we end up where we are. I know I got high as hell, completely lost track of what I was saying. I'm going to wrap it back around to the League, to us trying to create something new. It's not new, the thing we're trying to do. That's basically what we're trying to do is catch up. Right now, the way support is scaled is it's all delivered at the individual level, and individuals don't necessarily suffer at an individual level. There's a lot of cases where people do suffer by themselves, but they are in the set of those that are alone. Like, they're part of a population still. So there is a way to start bringing logistics chains together and start bringing support chains together and getting people supplied the way they need to be, getting people supported the way they need to be. Yeah, there's definitely going to be people who aren't going to progress as far as they might dream or as others might dream. I think it's true of me. I think that's true of a lot of people. I don't think that should prevent them from trying. And I think we should meet people kind of halfway. That's the other sort of purpose of the League. It started by disabled veterans, 100% disabled veterans. We shouldn't be working. Definitely not with civilians. You guys are fine most of the time. Sometimes, though, you talk like it's a movie, and it's just... You might as well just be like, hey, what's your elbow taste like? Because it's coming. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, 2 disabled veterans started this thing because it needed to be there. Like, all we're doing is codifying what we're already up to. We just saw people getting thrown out, tossed out. We got thrown out, tossed out. Just... What a fucking waste that is. To throw away a human being. I think that's where... 2 areas where Gunny and I paired well in this fight. Is we're not big fans of wasting people. And we're also trying to pick the best word for it. We're also dedicated to the idea of um, not just recovery, but like redemption. And not for, like, we can't redeem you. I can't redeem you. I don't know if you can redeem you. You know, like, this is where we start getting into spooky spiritual talk, but like, you can be redeemed if you start doing things that would cause you to be redeemable. Fuck the past. That was yesterday. I know a lot of drug addicts, a lot of alcoholics, a lot of you name it. A lot of people who've hurt folks. Okay. Did you stop? Can you keep stopping? Sometimes not. I know. Anger is a well-worn, well-earned thing. It sits in the center of your fucking chest and points as you march down the road. This little demon, anger. Look at that fucking thing. What's this asshole's problem? Look at this son of a bitch. You're like, yeah, goddamn right. That is anger. I get it. But what I do with my anger these days, every now and again, it'll for sure make its way to the forefront. But I just kind of thank it and ignore it a little, much as I can. But be grateful to your anger. Be grateful that you have the capacity for it, for love and passion at such a degree to cause you to become angry. You can be grateful for that part. There's parts of it you can be thankful for then. Say, thank you, little anger. I got it though, buddy. Alright. Sometimes you gotta smack his little hands, but hey. Each of us has it in us to do all these amazing things. It's the puppies. And regrettably, the reason it doesn't get done, you know, folks want to shit talk school. That was a big one. And school's good when it's done right. When they just make these people do tests and things, that's not helping anyone. I think AI is going to get rid of a lot of that. Standardized tests were a big problem. It was just a weird comparison metric that nobody was sure either, because nobody would really like tell you. You'd get kind of individual results, but it was all weird hocus pocus shit. It might as well be horoscopes. There was no solid ground to it, at least for the students. We couldn't tell what the fuck was going on. Tests would change, curriculum would change, we'd be learning the same shit over and over again because, well, now this is part of the 7th grade instead of the 6th grade, and okay, whatever, dude. Learning is critical, learning is key, learning is very, very important, but a lot of you were told in school, in your youth, in churches, in various programs, you were given a lot of avenues to quit, reasons to quit, reasons not to. I remember sitting in church as a youngin', And the pastor up there telling us not to feed homeless people. Because although our Lord tells us that we should take care of people and look out for people and feed people, maybe what it really means to feed people is to not feed them, though. And he goes on this twisted fucking thing for a whole hour. Yeah, I've been there. Those were people who wanted the easy way to be the right way. They're chicken shits. Cowards. They can't handle what is. And so they cling to what might be, what could, what was. None of that matters. What is. Now is now. All of it's happening now. All of history is right now. All the past is now. Just because you shut your eyes, that doesn't delineate a day anywhere. Now is now. Now is the only thing you hold. Now is the only thing you see. Now is the only thing you touch. Now is the only thing you can manipulate. Now is the only thing you have power over. Now is the only thing you can control. Don't worry about the past. It was what it was. Maybe it was wonderful. Maybe it was wonderful, even if only for a day. Or an hour. Or two. The future is perpetual mystery. We will never know. Because of our relationship to now. We can store things like dreams in the future and hopes and fears and shit like that. But again, we need you here and now. Okay, my high is wearing down. The fire died down. Let's get to the slide. Let's get to the point. What a leader must know. After all my blabbing, what's the league trying to do? We're trying to help people. Holy shit, I got real high, gang. We're trying to help people, trying to help you. This course here, if I didn't already say it, we're going through the 22-100. It's Army Field Manual. We covered the first half of the book, which is about what you ought to be. Talks about your character, your knowledge, your beliefs and values and norms you grew up with. So go ahead and check that back. Some episodes are as windy curvy as this ended up. Others are real to the point. So, have fun. Alright. Knowledge is power. Oddly, some of what I said ties into this. Here we go. A leader must learn before they can effectively lead. You have to. You cannot just waltz into a situation and start. I'll have a flashback, and I'm going to shut up and just get to the point on that one. When you walk in on the scene and you get assigned as a leader, this could be a position you've been working at for a while. You've been working at a restaurant, and now you're a shift leader, or you're a sous chef, and you're in a brand new role. Or you've been working at a factory, and you've been stamping and pressing and all that bullshit and milling and grilling, and now they give you a clipboard and a tie, and you got to be up early, but hey now, you're leading and you're getting shit done. Knowledge is power. Your power is the ability to cause things to happen. Let's get that straight. Power's a myth. Power's not real, baby. Not human power. It's all influence. And all that can be melted away. Jedi shit. Invisible stuff. Anyway, I'm stoned. Things you need to know as a leader, though, before you step onto the floor. Standards. Your standards. What you're going to be cool with, what you're not going to be cool with. What the organization is going to be cool with. If you're a leader and you have a team, if it's not your team, you're leading for someone else, for another organization, figure out what they're going to want out of you. Understand yourself. What are your weaknesses? Understand what the job is. There was one year where I'm kind of famous for it. It was kind of silly because I did this like Babe Ruth shot, but it was for a week of training, and I predicted how the week would go. I was like, Monday. Oh goodness, I'm sorry about that. Monday, they're gonna feel this way. They're gonna get this much done. They're gonna get this score on their tests. That like, it was this training program we had, and I by that point it was like my seventh or eighth time being there. And I'd already been at the executive levels and the squadron level, and I've been fired from there before. I'd been through that whole system. And so I developed a predictive model for what I wanted to do to get these guys through the week and have them have a productive week and get honor flight and all kinds of fun stuff. And one thing that was always going to be critical to that was going to be their motivation and their belief in themselves. And I sucked at running as a kid. I have a big, giant, gangly Viking gallow glass tranny body that is... I've never been able to run with this thing. I've always just barely passed any running test I've had in the military. I'm excellent at a lot of other things, and then just dog shit at that. Usually I was kind of a bitch with my push-ups, too, to be honest. I smoked too many cigarettes by the time I got in the Air Force. And I did not PT nearly enough. So, there you go. What was I talking about? Know yourself. Human nature. Know yourself. I blanked out. I was thinking of my friends in the Air Force. I was so close to getting to the point, too. Oh, I'm so sorry, gang. Well. Oh! Motivation. I suck at running. Oh my god, I suck at running. So, my flight sergeant that year, who... I miss them. They, I hope they're doing well. They were always an excellent physical specimen. That's a creepy way of saying it. They were always very athletic and energetic. And they could have run around that base all day. Or at least given off the vibe that they could have. Me, however, I have a deviated septum and bitchy allergies. It gets bad quick. I start gagging. Nothing sexy about me running. Nothing really motivating about me running. So I came up with a bit. And it worked. Where the first day, we formed everybody up. Flight sergeant formed all the troops up, reported to me, and I say, all right, take him into PT. I got a meeting to get to. And then I took off. I did not have a meeting to get to. There was no one to have a meeting with. Everyone else was at PT. And then I just went and got dressed and shit. Met them at breakfast. And I think by like the third day, they figured out there were no meetings, and because they'd be out there and people were like, "Where's Lieutenant Saley?" And they're like, "They're at a meeting, sir." I'm like, what meeting? So they got that they were in on a joke and that we were, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Casey's running around like, "You guys did good. Meeting went well today." They loved it. That's you. That's me knowing myself. That's me knowing people. That's me knowing these kids. It's me knowing my sergeant. It's me knowing the people I worked with. That took a lot of finessing. That was a very risky Jenga piece to pull. To just skip formation on a hunch. Like, yeah, and it worked. My folks didn't have to see me dragging ass in the morning and like crying and puking. I'm sorry. It would get bad. I would lose my composure. I was not a good runner. Even kind of like, it was, I'll admit, a little weird. I was like, come on, bitch, get your shit together. It wasn't good. But I knew that about myself. Then, I don't know why I joined the military, but I suck at running so bad. I think it's because I was brainwashed as a child to do it. All my babysitters were Strategic Air Command. Not all of them, but a weird amount. When you get to a certain level of expertise, you're gonna make a lot of choices that look weird to people. Because you're gonna be experimenting with a system you've kind of mastered. So that's another thing to know about yourself when you get into situations like that, is you're, how do I want to put this? Leaders are weird people. All leaders are weird people. We can't help it. Because most people don't do it. Most people aren't thinking the way we're thinking. And that's not like not even kind of a value judgment at all. Like, you're lucky. Don't. It's, this comes from years of anxiety, is where shit like this comes from. But know that everyone, every interaction is a new interaction. Every time, and respect your people enough, and teach them to respect others enough to know that going into things. Like, you can have your assumptions. You can know a whole bunch of shit. But more importantly, you need to know how far that'll get you. And you'd be surprised. It ain't that far. It just kind of gets you as far as you've gotten. Really. You're always going to be learning. You're always going to be picking up new things as you go. So be willing as a leader to be embarrassed from time to time, to be surprised, and know that that's part of it too. Because you're not there to deliver you. You're not there to deliver ego. I said I'd say it every episode. As a leader, you are there to deliver leadership. Leadership is purpose, motivation, and direction. Not one of them is your ego. So, but I get it. You're a person delivering this stuff. It's going to be tucked in there. Okay, to the point, gang. Human nature, basically what we talked about. Your job, basically we covered it. Your unit, yeah. Dead horse, black eye. So, knowing standards. Standards are established by laws, regulations, training publications, field and training manuals, SOPs, etc. People wrote the shit down. Okay. Standards define acceptable performance, control behavior, and influence action. Ideally, they'll influence action. Otherwise, what's it doing? You must know the standards and translate them into attainable goals your troops can understand and believe in. So this one is critical. You must know the standard as it's written, as it's presented, as it's intended, and then translate it to your troops into attainable goals. And I probably should reword that a bit. But give them the tools to explain it to themselves. Make sure that they can walk away with this knowledge. That you're not the only, they don't have to come to you every time. That's the whole point of teaching. If your troops do not meet standards, analyze the situation, decide a course of action. Alright, so everybody's uniform's dicked up, or everyone's failing a certain type of inspection, or productivity's down, or productivity's the dumbest measurement. It's an unreal. Don't get me started there. Okay, but that's why we don't use it in the service. Factors when standards aren't met. Oh, good. So I don't have to. Here we go. Critical questions. Did your troops understand what was expected? Did you go take care of that guy? Uh-oh. Was it that? Did you provide the resources, authority, training, and direction your troops needed? So let's run through these. Provide resources. Did you give them the shit they need? Do you gear, equipment, tents, radio, gas, money, time, etc.? Authority. Are they doing something where they're going to need to boss other people around? Where they're going to need to do something that is like... Authority is a tricky one, especially for a lot of folks, because you're not in a military setting. You're probably not in a civil setting, like you're not law enforcement or something like that, sitting and watching a stoner's leadership class. Maybe. I don't know. But authority, like, let's say you are a baker and you have a bakery and you are running a bake sale in 2 locations. Who has the authority to make financial choices at location B? If you're the president, or it's your company and you're at location A and you're doing all the decisions when it comes to like refunds and whatever, and you're doing all that, who's doing that at B? Is it everybody down there can make that call? That immediately sounds iffy. I'd leave that to one person. I'd almost leave that to just me and have one person down there make interim decisions. They can make any choices up to like $25, and past that, come give me a call. Things like that is what I mean by authority. Is the ability to make large decisions on your behalf or on someone else's behalf is probably the best way to describe that. Training, did you teach them? This is a big one. I get up people's ass sometimes because they're like, my people should know this. And I'm like, did you train them? And they're like, no. And I'm like, then why the fuck should they know it? Because they should. It's good stuff. What? If you want them to know it, teach them. If you want them to have it, give it to them. The way it kind of gets presented in a lot of circles where I'm at, military and adjacent, is you have directed, and how do we phrase it? There was directed equipment and suggested is how we did it. And directed was shit you had to have, like inspectable items, and then suggested was items like you could bring along, like if you wanted to. And I always made the argument that as much of the directed items as we could, because a lot of times they'd be expensive as shit too. But if we're mandating people do this shit on our behalf, like, let's pay for it. Because it's crazy to, like, basically pay a person less because the job's more complicated. It's what it turns into. If they have to pay out of their paycheck, fuck that. So directed things, if you want your people to do construction work, do they have the right equipment? Now, there's a lot of cases where you have people have their own tools and their own this and their own that. Yeah, that can be expected too. You can, have personal equipment expectations on your people. But then again, when it comes to like the bigger, more specialized stuff, that's on you. It really ought to be. If you expect it to be maintained properly and all that kind of shit, yeah. Drifting. Training and direction. Did you tell them, were you there? Did you have a supervisor that was going to be able to give them on-the-spot direction if that was going to pop off? Did your troops know how to do what was expected? Basically, that was a training again. And were they motivated to do what was expected? Did they know and just not give a shit, not have enough go juice in the tank to get it finished? That can happen. That happens all the time. Sometimes your folks are just beat to hell and they're not going to have enough gas in the tank to get the thing done. If that's the case, rest up, give it a shot later. Slice up that detail and... yeah. In those instances in particular, if they're not meeting standards because they're not motivated, it tells you a lot of other things are going on. A lot more worrying things. If your folks aren't getting a job done because they're missing some information, easy to do. If they're missing a piece of gear that's going to make them go faster, that's easy to fix. If they're depressed or anxious about coming into the workplace, good fucking luck. Because their body's going to be working, like, actively trying to stop them from working. With anxiety, that's sort of the world is very prickly. Depression is very sort of internal out. I'm very prickly. And sort of that's the like they tie together and they feed each other. But in like depression, I'm the problem. In anxiety, the world is the problem. Not great for getting shit done. It's distraction on focus and yada yada. And we'll get to those things. But here's what I would say: if someone's lacking motivation and that's causing them to fall short, now is definitely not the time to jump up their ass. Because that will not motivate them. Some folks are like, I know to motivate them. I'll go out there and... Yeah, that's not how that works. That'll actually fuck that up worse. So, in those cases, baby them. Unfortunately, I can't remember, I wrote it down somewhere recently. It was a pretty good line, but it was describing people like that who burn out quick, like racing tires and loose teeth, where you use the shit out. I'm just chewing jawbreakers like apples, and then all of a sudden, whoop, then you just kind of baby it till you can address it better, or it just falls out. It's really similar with people too. And this doesn't mean treat them like a child, not infantilize. Who's this? Hey, baby. But when we overcook our people, it happens far more in the industries I'm in. we pull them out of the oven. And a lot of times it's our people cooking themselves. And we're like, oh, you were in there too long. And we gotta go get them. This is all metaphor, by the way. Nobody's sitting in the oven. But it's kind of how we describe it. It's pretty fucking accurate. But in those cases, if it's a motivation thing, yeah, pull them out. Hey, get them some ice cream, man. Yeah, get them a joint and some ice cream and reset, dude. Okay. Counseling. Counseling should not be abusive or arrogant. Don't be a cunt, please. When you're counseling someone, you are... And in particular, this is regarding somebody not meeting standards and failing to execute on, whatever the hell you're trying to get done. Do your counseling in regards to that. You're like, hey, buddy, what's up? So in that, it shouldn't be abusive and arrogant. This isn't you pulling, what's your fucking malfunction, dipshit? Like, that's not... They're just going to be like, fuck this. Mentally inside, their little inner monologue is not going to be on your side. It's not going to be trying to learn about improving your missions. It's going to be about shoving broomsticks up your ass sideways. So explain to the subordinate what they did wrong, why it's unacceptable in terms of standards, not in terms of moral stuff. Don't be like, it's gross, that's dumb, these are stupid. But per the 39-3, section 4, this is just how we like to get things done. This is how people expect it. Whatever your speech is on that shit. But by the numbers, by the book. Don't just, I didn't like it, it smelled weird. That, unless you got a clause on things not smelling weird, you can't. Like, sorry, Floyd. Explain how to improve the performance. Don't just leave somebody hanging. Don't be like, you suck. That is not fucking helpful. Tell them how to improve. Give them tips. Give them actual metrics in certain cases. Where, simple example, we could say a kid is underperforming in their reading. And they're having trouble finishing books at their grade level. They're in first grade, and they're still struggling with those. Okay, so explain how to improve performance. So to improve your performance, 1, we're going to continue practicing with books at your reading level. And then, when you can finish a book all on your own, reading out loud to me, we'll know you've done it. So you're giving them clear, detailed instructions how to do it, when they'll know they've done the thing, like where the finish line is. Because that's another one too. Don't give people these endless quests. It's not good for motivation, like the mechanical, chemical, goopy side of motivation in the brain, as far as like how dopamine works. You need to reward people, and more frequently than you think. A lot of good job, and treat people like puppies, and not in a demeaning way. And hopefully you're nice to puppies. But what I mean is, ignore what you can as far as negative behaviors or things that you don't necessarily want to see. Interrupt and stop the things that you definitely don't want to see. And then reward the things you do. And give it a minute, and gradually you'll see the performance improve. And I do this with kids, I do this with adults, I do this with... As soon as somebody nails something, yes, I make a show out of it. I want it cemented in their noggin that that's exactly what the fuck I was talking about. And then they're like, yeah! I'm like, yeah, high five. Yeah, and we're in there. Because, yeah! 1, terrific. 2, I'm psychologically hacking your fucking noggin. Dopamine! Woo. It's drugs, bro. Yeah. Speaking of drugs, holy shit. This stuff was called Pandalorian. It's a fun name. This is the way. Whoa. How you counsel affects the future behavior and attitude of your troops. If you are fucking awful to hang out with during this counseling session, they're not going to look forward to future counseling sessions. They're not going to come to you for private talks of like, hey boss, I think I knocked up my girlfriend. They're not going to come to you for that because you suck to talk to. So if you can counsel these people in a way that they can sit through and you can sit through and you can still get the job done, they're going to come to you for a lot more. Because even though this started as a negative experience, this is you doing your Jedi shit and redirecting that energy and making this into a positive experience. You're turning this into the learning experience it's supposed to be. It's not just a fuck up. Fuck ups don't just become learning experiences. You have to learn from them. And you're helping people with that. That's what this counseling session is. How you counsel can incur great respect or disdain. I think we kind of covered that. Keep your anger in check. This is a big one. You want to not be emotionally distant. You don't want to be emotionally cold. That is a strategy for a lot of people. Because if they engage one emotion, they'll engage them all. They don't trust themselves to act with emotion in their body. So they'll try not to. I understand that, and if that's you, ride that wave. But I would suggest also sincerity where you can. Bleed where you can. Be human where you can. Even if it's moments at a time. Even if it's just a wink here and a nod there. Even if it's just you taking your hat off for a conversation. That's a big thing in the military, because if you're outside and everybody's got their hats on outside, it's a very, like if you sort of like, boop, like step behind the curtain for a moment with a person, that's a very humanizing moment. It's a very connecting moment, And even us cold critters can, I'm not very cold these days, but back when I was, you can maintain yourself there. And anger is, anger can come up, especially if the person you're counseling has somehow hurt another member of your team. It's like if one of your kids hurt another one of your kids, you're going to be pretty fucking fussy. You hit my baby, but you're still talking to one of your babies. So, we got to balance it, keep it in check. And at the end here, because this class was typically for military folks, maintain a balance of military firmness and appreciation of human dignity. So yes, in the military, there is a sense of bearing. There is a sense of, there's too many eyes on the military. There's too many people looking for you not to kind of have your shit together all the time. Not to be, stoic's not the right word, but in the service we sort of present ourselves that way as kind of a way to comfort the public. Really, I think people find warriors that can be stone-faced and calm more comfortable than if you saw us at the River Club. You'd be like, oh shit, let's not go to war. Holy fuck, that one just threw up in the air conditioner. What me? There was one time, though, I destroyed the latrine at the River Club. Because I was doing Jaeger bombs after I ate a bunch of chicken wings. Just orange. It was, woo! I came out, I was like, girls, I need a lot of paper towels and probably a mop. And they're like, we'll get it. And I was like, no. Let me And the bartender went back to the bathroom, and she's like, "Hang on, let me see. And then she's like, "I will get you a mop." I was like, "Thank you." Yeah. Appreciation for human dignity. I think we do that well in the military. We do it very poorly. Very, very poorly in a lot of places. I will not brag and say we are the paragons of it. We do it very well in some places. And I think it's because we watch one another suffer. We witness one another suffer. And we witness one another pretend we're not for the sake of one another. And when we can't, we're there for one another. It's hard to hide in the military. Maybe that's why we're always camouflaged. And so, on the exterior, there is a lot of firmness. Because that's needed. Ooh, it's crazy out there. But inside, nice and gooey. Alright. Oh, we're getting to midnight here. Yeah, fuck it. Let's not go any further. Counseling is good. What did we actually talk about? I got two... Wait, hang on a sec. Okay, I think we covered 4 slides. What happened, man? I'm going to have to watch this one back. Hopefully the audio's on. I make that joke, but it terrifies me every time. Then I'm going to go do like a replay and there's no sound. I'm like, well, I quit. That's a sign. Goodbye. I see the little thing bouncing. It could just be giving me false hope. Lies. Green bar. Tell your stories to someone else, green bar. Okay. Holy shit, gang. It's been a weird week for me. I'm good. I'm okay. Kind of had a weird personal interaction. That it's sort of been distracting me. It's definitely on. I've gotten to a point where I had to take a break from some people that I'm very surprised I had to take a break from. Never saw it coming. And I won't go too much into whatever, because I think it'll resolve. Probably rather quickly too, but when we want things, it's okay to want them. But then what we really need to control in that is our relationship to that want, to that desire? Do you recognize that desire? Or do you live in that desire? It's a bit cryptic, sorry. Might make perfect sense to somebody. But it's the thought I'm struggling with. I may not even finish it to share it. Because it wasn't even like a fight. It didn't even have time to be an argument because it was something I just couldn't understand. And I can understand quite a bit. And I don't mind not understanding things. But like I said, I came from these organizations that specialized in, training the children for military service. And I don't think they understand what that means. Some of them do. Some of them definitely do, because they went and found out. And then and I do think this relates enough. So I'll leave it in here, but like in that instance, there are people who have stayed with me my whole life because they had some thought of what they were doing. I think, and the ones who were thoughtless on it, I haven't heard from them at all. The ones who thought it would be fun, thought it was a gimmick. Good career opportunity. Sure. I mean, it can be. Sure enough. But you should come to know not just what you do and who you are, but you should come to know what that means, the extent of that. Who is dead because of you? May not be anyone yet. You might be young still. You may not have had that yet. You may be young and have that. Who's alive because of you? Who's here because of you? Who's not? Not just that day. Not just, oh yeah, we made it up the hill. We did. And then, what, like 4 or 5 of those kids died in a war? cool hill. I come from a long line of like gallows glass types. Big, nearly dumb creatures. I'm the smallest in my family, and I'm like 6 foot. You've met people, though we'll always have someone worth kicking the shit out of. I suppose that's enough impetus to have a warrior class develop. There's always going to be kids who are going to want to go sign up. It's our responsibility as the ones not going I don't get to go anymore. Fuck, if I'm on the battlefield again, gang, ever, I was always in the back. I was never on, like, the battlefield. Fuck no. Mm-mm. Nah, dude. I worked in the rear with the gear and all the queers and other things that rhyme with gear and rear. And a fella from Tennessee might pronounce it mirror. Oh, gang. Yeah, all this rah-rah bullshit. It is dulce et decorum est per patrimore. It is sweet and fitting to die for one's country. Nah, it's not. I've seen it. It's pretty gross, actually. It's pretty fucked up. Sweet and fitting were not the words anybody on the scene would have used. Yeah. Too much personal bullshit and a pretty fucking intense dab. Sorry, gang. Uh-oh, am I that level of high? Do you guys hate me? I should wrap it up. I have nothing else to say, really. I'm just kind of meandering. I'm not sure what I was bitching about there. I don't. Maybe that's my warning. I have so much optimism in my leadership lessons. 'Cause it's true optimism. Maybe it's not true optimism. Maybe it's something more resigned and like I've seen it so many fucking times. Like, we got it. You'll be fine. You're good. You're good, baby. If my fruity ass did it, and that's me making fun of me. But hey, man. Shit. They said go and I went. It's doable. But the more you get out there and you start influencing people, and you start causing them to make new decisions in their lives, it's real risky territory. It's how cults and all that bullshit form. Like if you get way too much of a... Like, I don't do compliments well. I think that helps me. It's not great sometimes because it's a little insulting to shit on someone's compliment. Or like, this is great. And I'm like, no, it's, that's me being an asshole now. Because, like, what, they don't fucking know that their opinion doesn't matter? We'll get on that in a minute. But, yeah. I forgot what I was saying. Luckily, gang. Oh, yeah. Yeah. When you're making big decisions in someone's life, or leading them to make big decisions in their own life, big decisions have big consequences. Little decisions have big consequences. All decisions have big consequences. And that can't stop you from making a decision. That'll slow a lot of people down. Oh, what if So in all this, I think the best middle ground advice on the optimism and the pessimism side, you need to get out there and touch those buttons, but touching those buttons will kill a few people. So it's, you're never really going to be, how did they phrase it? I want to get this right because it was beautiful the way they said it. Is that you're not ever going to be ready, but you can be ready enough. And I like that a lot. I like that thinking, because especially for perfectionist types, people who are like, oh, I gotta get this, I gotta get that, I gotta get that. If you are a perfectionist type, if you can get used to firing at 80 to 90% instead of waiting for that 100%, and you can start giving yourself the ability to work in that 80 to 90, holy shit, you will start getting stuff done at a wild rate. Where before, waiting for that 100%, it just was never going to happen. Because perfectionists keep moving the bar, and so we never finish projects. Because it's always gonna be something else. We're always trying to build Plato's horse shit, and it never happens. So be ready enough. Get yourself going. Okay, we can execute with this. It'd be awesome if we had all this other crazy shit, but we can work with this. If you go into leadership with that mindset, these roles you're taking on, you're building a team, you're building a business, you're whatever it is, where you got a bunch of people you're trying to get to do one thing or another. What the hell was I talking about? My dog sneezed, and then I lost my train of thought. Princess. Aww. She's so cute. Hang on, I'll grab Odin. You can see one of my dogs. And then I'll go to bed. Come here, chubby Mr. Fella. Oh, oh, oh. This is my fat little sweet potato. His name is Odin. I don't know why. He doesn't look like a Viking god. Hi, I'm Odin. He has both of his eyes. He doesn't know any of the runes. That's an inside joke for Norse people. Go hang up, Bubba. Yeah. Yeah. You'll be presented a lot of reasons to quit. A lot of reasons to cheat. A lot of reasons to pack it in, go home, do something else. You could hurt people. You can get people killed. You can get people fired, homeless. You can fuck a lot of things up. But nothing happens if you do nothing. None of that good shit happens either. That's what you gotta know going into leadership. You know about yourself and know all these bits and pieces and facts and functions and etc., etc. But what will become clear to you the moment you get out there is this big shape that exists next to all that other stuff. And that big shape is what you don't know. Then you'll never know what's in it, because it's the big cloud of things you don't know. You should definitely learn about it. Like, you'll discover the shape of it. You'll discover how you interact with it. Weather patterns and etc., playing with the metaphor. This big thing you don't know. And know it will always be there. Watching you make every decision you make. Having a secret tucked away in its big dark cloud that could always make your shit better, faster, this, that, and the other thing. But you don't know. It's up in there. Don't let that cloud stop you. You'll eat away at that thing gradually. It'll get smaller as you get going. But it will always be there. That cloud will be there the day I die. Unless I know where I'm going when I die. There's always something to not know. Always. Okay, babes. That is the mystery. We can call that an episode. Good night, gang. Love yourselves if no one else is around there doing it. But no, I love you too. We're gonna be okay. You're coming. You're gonna start leading soon. Gives me hope. Real hope.